Hey everyone, it's Zach with Palantir Research. Lockheed Martin is a major client for Palantir who presented at S4G, or Software for Government. They give a nice demo of Apollo and how they used it, and the central core principle of its value, which is around secure but flexible deployment of software updates and their time savings. It's really apparent that they think this tool is important. So check out their video for more details if you want to read the whole thing, but here's my summary and thoughts on the impact of this demo. Lockheed Martin is a major defense contractor for the United States and around the world, and their demo is around the Aegis combat system, which is the Navy's surface combat system. Now, this is a centralized, automated command and control and weapons control system that takes it from start to finish or detection to kill, so the stakes are high whenever there's being updates pushed. So there are multiple vendors at play here in their example with GitLab, AWS, and Palantir's Apollo product. So what surprised me the most, though, is that they revealed this is built on top of legacy systems with some dating back 54 years old. So it's not an easy feat to manage this. So working alongside Palantir, GitLab, and AWS, which are all covered under IL5 security, we see how this all plays together. So they did a quick showcase of starting from a commit and then merging the Git branch just to change the color of planes on the display from yellow to blue. It seems like a simple example, but remember, this is all under a secure system, but ensuring the software updates go through correctly since it's all automated without bringing the system down. So there are checks happening automatically to ensure when these are being pushed and being merged into the code safely. When they said this, it takes a couple hours before, but it comes down to a couple minutes now. With the component they pushed, he mentioned there are 33 tests and said their legacy build required manual testing before, which has someone do the actual analysis and publishing of the results and comparisons, and then eventually pushing things into live production or their main branch. So he notes this changed that couple of hours legacy process on a good day down to that 3.5-minute process, which is huge value. Now, this is where Palantir actually jumps in and connects to all these different systems and pushes the software update out. So as it scales, there are parallel versions working at the same time all around the world. So some may have that software update deployed, but some may be on that previous version still here, but they all have to work coherently. So the Apollo value aspect is making sure it's pushed safely and seamlessly for the end users, but keeps its trackability and rollback functions if needed. So they didn't have to stop anyone's system. It delivers these updates when it's ideal. And Lockheed Martin's plans for the future are connecting more and even IL6 level security running these processes. The example is for IL5. So meeting that time cut is not just the only value coming out of this, but all that documentation and analysis that's automated for these records to ensure if they need to roll anything back has become much more efficient. That's the big thing when you're pushing these software updates. It's not necessarily the update itself and changing the code, but it's seeing what the results are in case you did that and seeing what it was before and what it is after, and if there's something that was unexpected there. And this is a massive impact for an organization like Lockheed Martin, where there's probably a bunch of teams working on a bunch of different projects here. So all the Git stuff on its own is already a big thing to manage, but then ensuring that it's deployed safely is another. So I'm happy that they have much greater plans for the solution to be put out because they want to expand its footprint to more updates being pushed and facilities, but also that IL level 6 here that they want at a higher level of security. Palantir is one of the only vendors in the world with IL6 besides Amazon and Microsoft, so the choices are really limited. Now, GitLab, I'm not sure if they have IL6 or plans to obtain it, but Palantir does have a built-in version control Git system that's been briefly talked about, but basically it's like any other where you can manage your repositories. So the point here is that they have plans to become more reliant on Palantir, and this creates stickiness of the product here, so it doesn't seem like they want to transition out of this here, and they have plans to make it even bigger. And for Lockheed Martin's size alone, but also their customer needs like the Navy, so that's also big, it lets them focus on the value that they provide while leveraging the systems and value that Palantir brings themselves. So they fit right in with the other pieces like GitLab and AWS, showing it's not important to run everything through Palantir here, but it's flexibility to work with all these other inputs and outputs or throughputs from these different systems here. Because if you're able to deploy this without needing to make the whole organization change their tools and what they've already built on top of, it makes it much more faster to adopt. Maybe over time you can take over different systems for Palantir, but if you can get your foot in the door here, it seems really ideal.